Yeah.
Let's move along here, Greg. Nick Saban, Jimbo Fisher, the battle of your century. Saban versus the NIL.
So happy.
So for everyone at home, what happened was Nick Saban came out recently and said that all of Texas A&M's players were bought. Jimbo Fisher had a press conference and went off saying some people consider themselves gods. I've been on his team. If you dig into what he does, it's gross. It's disgusting. What Nick Saban does is basically illegal. Decimated him in this press conference. Nick Saban called Jimbo Fisher, and Jimbo did not take the call and said, I don't take the call for people who I'm done with.
Whew.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
Team Jimbo Fisher.
Really? Okay.
Team Jimbo Fisher for one reason. Okay. How fucking dare Nick Saban talk about buying a team? How fucking dare Nick Saban talk about buying? You're paying for your players. That is literally the foundation of Alabama football. You cannot tell me otherwise. I get it, Greg. He's still there, so nothing came out. I'm not a fucking moron, Greg. I know what they do. Ben Simmons went to LSU for a reason.
So, first off, thank you for circling back on that one. That made it better.
Simmons. Yeah, sorry.
Shout out to Will Wade. Oh, I have a friend of mine who's an LSU fan, and I told him, I told him RIP to that one.
How far is LSU from Nashville?
I think it was like 8 hours, something like that.
When are you going down? It's a like 8.5 hour drive. If you go down, I'll drive down and meet you.
Really?
Yeah. I want to go see a college game.
I mean, yeah, he keeps telling me he wants me to go to Death Valley at some point.
I would take an 8.5 hour drive to see you. Keep going.
To go to Death Valley too, yeah. That's
nope,
fair.
Just see you. Keep going.
So, and first off, you left out another part of the exchange, which I love, by the way. He just randomly threw shade at Deion Sanders and Jackson State for getting Travis Hunter from Florida State.
Yeah, didn't he? Okay, you have to walk me through that. Travis Hunter tweeted out, I got a mill ? But my mom still live in the hood or something like that. What did he say?
Travis Hunter was like the number 2 overall player.
Yeah.
Yes, 5-star guy last year's class. He was committed to Florida State for the longest time, and then day of signing day, he flipped the commitment to Jackson State, and then it came out that he got an NIL offer
with Barstool Sports.
With Barstool, who Deion has a relationship with.
And I don't think anybody was trying to hide anything. They were very transparent.
No. Yeah, but Saban, during that conversation where he brought up Texas A&M, like buying his whole team, he also made a comment about Deion buying that kid, essentially, for Travis Hunter. And then Deion went on Twitter and had a rant about it too. Good. I saw it this morning on Get Up. The only thing that stuck out to me was that he misspelled paid. That's the only thing that stuck out to me.
That's the worst, dude. One typo can destroy the Declaration of Independence. Like, it
but
sucks,
here's the thing.
Dude. You can't edit the tweets.
Technically, it was an extra typo because paid is P-A-I-D. He did P-A-Y-E-D.
Oh, he thought about it. What's the plural of Vulcans?
Oh, I felt bad as soon as I saw it. But yeah, like I was like, the only thing that I could think of was like, what in the world is going on with Saban?
Bro,
because like
Saban.
But like I was just so thrown off by like just the amount of shade he was throwing, because he's not that type of person. But a couple things that I was thinking of from that. Number one, so have you heard about the Rush Probst scandal by chance?
No.
Okay. Do you remember the show on MTV Two-A-Days?
Yes, love it.
Okay.
Rush Probst was the head song.
Yes. Rush Probst was the head coach of the Hoover football team.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So there was a big scandal that happened where it was discovered that Probst had a second family in another county. and he was forced to resign from Hoover.
That's so
because
exhausting.
of the scandal.
How
Yes.
would you keep 2 families? I don't even want one family. Not mom.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me rephrase. I don't want to start my own family. I love my family. I don't want to start my own family, let alone start 2 families.
Right. It's a lot of work. But he gets asked to resign. So he ends up getting hired by a high school in Georgia, I think Valdosta, which was a big program. Wins a state title. I
know 3 high schools.
Yeah. Wins a state title there. Has like another, it wasn't like a scandal, it was like a booster situation or something. Goes to another Georgia high school. Then gets apparently caught on video talking about like illegal recruiting practices and claimed something about how Bama and Georgia and some of the other SEC schools like supposedly pay guys and stuff. And that's like brushed under the table completely. So when I hear this about the NIL thing, and then I'm like, well, wait a second. It's Saban, it's Jimbo, and Kirby also. So that is now kind of like playing back in my head where I'm like, okay, he's definitely telling more truth than maybe might have been thought of at the time. So there is that. The other thing that I'm willing to say here too is that I just think the NIL in all seriousness is just going to force so many coaches to not want to be a part of college athletics anymore. Okay, because we already showed like Jay Wright unexpectedly left. And I think part of it was based on the fact that he just didn't want to deal with the NIL stuff anymore.
He's been there for like 18 years.
True, he won 2 titles, but he's not old by any means. Like he's nowhere near like the age that Coach K was when K decided to retire.
But there's something to be said about the guys like Coach Cal and Coach K and fucking Saban and Dabo and Jimbo. We can talk about all dude, Greg, all of them want to be the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what the guy has to do?
Beat the guy.
No. Pay more than the guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Find ways to pay and not get caught. And that's the thing that I love about Coach Cal at Kentucky is he's not hiding anything. He says, you want to go to the league? Come here. You'll get to the league. And other coaches hate it because like, we build a program. We want kids to have education. He's like, I want kids to be millionaires. Yeah. This NIL thing, I understand everyone's freaking out. It's certain guys. I mean, you have guys like Spencer Rattler who have one and don't. You have guys like Jordan Addison who kind of have one and then get one. The biggest conversation in all this is that all of these coaches are the most egotistical fucks on the planet, Greg.
Right.
They're all so... Convince me that Nick Saban is a good coach, other than the fact that he has literal grown men the size of Derrick Henry playing against boys at Auburn or Alcorn State. I almost said Auburn State. That's not wrong. You know what I mean? Like it's if you have freak of nature athletes, they do freak of nature athlete things, like run over an attorney's son who got into a school and on the team because they sued. Like it's that clear, man. Like this argument though, Jimbo and Saban, the beautiful thing about it is that Jimbo needs to keep pressing and take him down. Jimbo needs to say, I actually have dirt. I'm going to see if I can find proof of it. Fuck that guy. I'm surprised Steve Sarkisian didn't get drunk and do it already, Greg. Am I wrong?
Bit of a low blow, but yeah, you're not wrong. That's
Steve
fair.
Sarkisian. He's making Texas.
I know, but you're literally bringing up a story about how he was hammered and like got fired because of it. In fairness, so there's part of it right there. It's a little bit of a low blow, but I get what you're doing. No, first off, I love it because it adds more excitement to the rivalry altogether. Because October 8th is going to be awesome. Just saying. October 8th is going to be incredible. I cannot wait. I hope College Game Day is there. I can't wait to see the signs. I don't know where it's at, but I just cannot wait to see the animosity between the two.
The worst part about October 8th? Alabama's going to kick their dick in, Greg.
Yes.
They're going to they're going to beat the absolute pulp out of them.
Yeah. No, like Saban, I feel like is the type of coach that's not going to let off the gas pedal whatsoever.
It's going to be 72-3.
Yes.
And you know who's going to lead in touchdowns? Will Anderson. because he's gonna murder people.
You're not wrong. And there is something to be said. I can agree with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong to me with Jimbo trying to be like the Alabama of Texas. Like, don't get me wrong on that. I have a little bit of a negative opinion about Jimbo just because of the fact that he basically left Florida State in shambles and they haven't been able to recover since. So I kind of feel like there's something.
Yeah, but I also just don't care about Florida State at all. They've not bred one player that I love in the NFL. Like, I like Dalvin Cook, but they haven't bred like a player that I'm super gassed about beyond belief. Like, I like Jalen Ramsey.
You're not a James guy? No, not whatsoever.
Did Jalen Ramsey go to Florida State?
Yes, he did.
Okay, yeah. No, Jameis is okay. Famous Jameis, I like it. It's just, you know what I mean? I don't know.
What about new Pine Richland linebacker coach Vince Williams?
Yeah, like I said, there just hasn't been. No, I like Vince Williams. I can't lie about that. Last parting note here, Greg. Do you believe that Bryce has a $3 million NIL deal? Because that was the last thing Saban was bragging about, Bryce Young having a $3 million deal and saying basically he's a brand now.
He was offered it, if I remember correctly, last year. There was stuff that came out about him having an NIL deal. So yeah, I believe it. I think it was even reported.
Saban wouldn't have said it if it wasn't true. I guess more along the lines of like, that's $3 million just for a college kid.
Yeah, like Saban has no reason to kind of lie about that. I mean, like, fuck, we forget that like Quinn Ewers, when he went to Ohio State, one of the reasons he went to Ohio State was because I'm pretty sure his deal was like $1 million per. So, and
with
that was
a company in Texas.
Yes, which made it even crazier.
Which is why he's now at Texas.
I know.
Do you think Addison goes to Texas, by the way?
No, it was already announced. He's going to USC.
Oh, it was announced.
It was announced, yeah. Like a little bit ago. I think maybe like a couple hours ago.
What? I wish we did a sports show.
I gave you the rundown this morning. I'm sorry.
You can text me. You texted me about Daredevil.
But that was, I don't know. I'm still salty about the ass.
All right, so I was right and you were wrong.
Yes, fine, you were right. I'll give you that. I honestly, well, first off, it came down to USC and Texas. I honestly thought it'd be Texas just for the fact that he could still be a Brennan Marion. But yeah, he decided to go to USC.
I'm gonna say one thing right now. Hear me out. He'll never amount to nothing.
Are we talking like
never
just
amount
this
to
year?
Nothing. Never amounts to nothing once you leave Pitt. I don't know. Jordan Addison, I don't know if he'll ever, he'll probably have a decent long career. Nick Saban laments singling out Texas A&M and Jackson State, but remains critical of NIL application via Clown ESPN. Wow.
Yeah, that was the thing. Apparently, like he went on record like a little bit ago trying to like save face, but he's in the same boat as every other college coach now. Is that like they're bashing the NIL, which, by the way, I think NCAA like a few weeks ago like tried to come out with guidelines for how to manage NIL and stuff like that. And I'm like, why did nobody come up with this after the court ruling came down about this?
They just let it go like the Wild West, man.
Yeah, and now they're paying the price for it because there's no governance for it. None whatsoever. There's nothing wrong with kids making money off of their name, image, and likeness. I have nothing wrong with it. Agreed. The problem is that when that is now being like it's now being like the main recruiting method to try to get players to transfer.
Yep.
That's like a bit of an issue I have there. And then the other thing is just there's just so much sketchy things behind it because now I think donors are using name, image, and likeness as like a circumventing way to get guys.
Well, that's like illegal. So Texas, if you're a lineman at Texas, you instantly have an NIL deal with their donor. That was something I heard a while ago. Yeah, it's 100% true. But at the same time, I think NIL at its core makes a lot of sense because I should be able to profit. If people want to pay Derek Whiten to sign something, I should be able to afford that. Like that should be my right.
And that was the original idea of it because part of it for me was based on the fact that when Johnny Manziel was balling out at the time, when he was balling out at the time,
Reggie Bush, Terrell Pryor,
Reggie Bush, like they could not make money off of their jerseys, which they should have because the amount of money that those jerseys probably made was insane.
Well, the best
They
was when
weren't
you
allowed
Googled in the NCAA store, when you Googled Manziel, a number 2 Texas A&M jersey popped up.
There's no name on it, but yeah, it's there. Or like, yeah, they weren't allowed to profit off of them signing an autograph or anything like that. Like, that's the problem that we had. But now it became a whole new world, because here's the thing, and we touched on this like in an episode like months ago when the NIL thing first kind of came out, is that just because you sign an NIL deal, it does not mean you get free money. It's literally your face, your name needs to be attached to something that uses you as a ways to better their business or better themselves. So you are essentially the face of a brand to a degree. Like I remember correctly, like Derek Stingley, when he got an NIL deal with some, I believe it was like a bar and grill in Baton Rouge or something like that. They used his name and his image for like promotions and stuff like that, to like target people to come in and all that. That's kind of the idea of NIL, is like you use that person to drive business for yourself. It's not something where like you just sign someone and then give them money to go to school. You have to be able to have the athlete return that to a degree as well.
Yeah, agreed.